Introducing you to the people of Uniondale. This is the Voice of Uniondale, Nicole Burke.
Hi, friends. Welcome back, or if you're new to the show, welcome to the Voice of Uniondale. I'm your host, Nicole Burke, and I'm so excited to introduce today's guest, Jean-Baptiste Carelus, a true powerhouse in the world of finance and a dedicated community hero. Jean-Baptiste holds a master's degree in economics and has built an extraordinary career analyzing some of the most complex financial products, including collateralized loan obligations and structured investments. He's worked with top organizations like the National Association of Insurance Commissioners, where he currently serves as Senior Collateralized Loan Obligation Analyst and Co-Manager of Investment Analysis. Also, Standard & Poor's, where he held leadership roles in rating analysis and surveillance. What truly makes Jean-Baptiste's story inspiring is his ability to balance his high-level financial expertise with a deep, unwavering commitment to community service. Beyond his impressive professional accomplishments, he founded his own economic consulting firm, demonstrating entrepreneurial courage and leadership. And he's also a volunteer firefighter and emergency medical technician in West Hempstead, a true testament to how service to others is the core of his life. Today's conversation is designed to inspire you, to uplift you, and to challenge you to step into your own power and purpose. Get ready, friends, to think bigger, push beyond your limits, and make a difference in your community. Right here on the Voice of Uniondale, I would like to welcome Mr. Jean-Baptiste Carelus.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Nice to join you today.
Oh, you are so welcome. I'm so happy to have you. From the first time that we met in May.
It was in May.
Right?
Yes.
In May with the Northern Garden Civic Association. Shout out to Heidi Samp and Pearl Jacobs for putting that together, for beautifying Uniondale
Avenue. Yeah.
That Saturday morning.
I was just walking there the other day, looking at a project that the UCLT are working on. And I saw all the flowers. They're all blooming. They're all alive. It was beautiful.
Yeah, and we cleaned it out. What got you started with volunteering for the community? I usually like to go back, but let's start there since we're talking about that.
Well, volunteering has been a big part of my life for quite a while. Started off in college, for example, with the service fraternity, Sigma Phi Rho Fraternity Incorporated. Uh-huh. I then went on to do many other things. I'm a member of the Knights of Columbus. For many years, my wife and I ran the St. Thomas the Apostle Family Festival. It's just a variety of things. And of course, right now, I'm with the West Hempstead Fire Department as a firefighter and EMT. So community service has been a big part of my life for a very long time. So I can't pinpoint an exact time when I started, but It's just been a gradual increase in volunteerism.
Did you see that while growing up from your parents? Perhaps maybe that's where it started?
Well, you know what? Truth be told, my parents, we came here from Haiti in 77, and they were working multiple jobs. So the time to volunteer, as is the case today, there are lots of parents that are stressed, that are trying to support their family. They have, food to put on the table, rent to pay. And so the idea of volunteering the way I do it was not a big thing, but they were very involved in the church.
Okay.
They were very involved in just small Haitian community-focused events, not in the same manner. I would say that when people speak of volunteerism, they're, say, oh, yes, I volunteered for the, NAACP. I did this. It wasn't that sort of thing. Throughout their lives, there's been service in their life.
Right.
But it's mainly surrounded their day-to-day living. Very religious, so they were heavy into the church.
Right. So I would say that's where it started for you, because you expanded. That's what you're supposed to do, right? In life, you take from what your parents give you and you expand and do better with it.
Yeah, I like that way of looking at it. Yes. Yes.
So what got you started in economics?
So I was in school. I was heading towards civil engineering, actually.
Okay.
And it's an odd story, but I was heading towards civil engineering. I started at Nassau Community College, and I, as the classes went on, I realized, I would rather do something different. And after having taken the math classes that were required, I realized, okay, what do I change to that could still use the credits that I've already gained?
Right.
And so I realized economics was the place. You need a heavy math background. You have all the theoretical, finance and all the other economics itself that can be added onto it. And so I figured this is a good spot. It's someplace where you can understand the workings of everyone's lives on a macro level or on a micro.
Yes.
It gives you an opportunity to really find ways to help and push for progress within the general economy. And I figured that's a good place to be.
All right. You graduated with your bachelor's, then you went on with your master's, or did you work first and then go back?
Yeah, there was a bit of a pause. I graduated from SUNY Old Westbury with an interdisciplinary degree, politics and economics, and moved into the city, lived with my wife, we got married, and years later, maybe a few years later, I enrolled at Brooklyn College in the Masters of Economics program, part-time basis, because I started working at Standard & Poor's at the time. Standard & Poor's is the rating agency. Yes. They're also known, actually, they're better known, I should say, for the S&P 500. It's the index of large companies.
Yes.
That's
yes.
That is out there. I once worked, actually, with the chief economist at Standard & Poor's. He was the chair of the index committee. And a lot of the work that we did supported the selection of the companies or removal of the companies from the index.
Yes.
We performed quantitative analysis supporting investments for investment analysis for the retirement accounts for small manufacturers. I mean, we went through a lot of different touches in the world of finance. And more specifically to my task as well, I provided, explanations, analysis of data releases. For example, this past Friday, the jobs report came out. It was 139,000 jobs created, slightly, near where the expectations were. What does that mean for the economy? How will that affect unemployment in the future? Is this number a good number? How will the markets react to it? And I don't know if you paid attention to it, but many people don't. I should just say that. But the market took that number very positively, and you saw that the S&P 500 went up, the Dow Jones index went up, the NASDAQ went up. So it took it as a positive that the market was on a steady glide. It wasn't too hot, creating upwards of 300,000 jobs. Right. That while it's a positive to the average person, 300,000 jobs, that's fantastic.
Yes.
The market, on the other hand, is concerned with whether or not the economy is overheating or if the economy is cooling too quickly.
Right.
And that number on Friday, 139, was an indication that it's on a steady glide path, and the market loves steady, calm, continuous.
Okay. Wow, I learned something today. And you made it interesting. I wasn't I didn't get lost with what you were saying.
Thank goodness.
So that's a good thing.
Economics is not a very fun subject to begin with. If you're losing people, then it's a problem.
Oh, yeah. It just brings me back memories of college days, and sometimes the professor being not from the country where I was taking these classes, and it's just the language barrier, understanding, and then falling asleep.
On top of that, you have the theory that you have to understand. Right. Yeah, I've seen a lot of that. It is very difficult. But you know what? There are a lot of, thank goodness, a lot of resources in many schools to help students through those difficult moments with theory, with barriers, whether it's language, culture, et cetera. So there's a lot of resources available for today's college students.
That's a good thing, too. I feel like they have it a little bit easier. But that's neither here nor there.
They won't admit that.
Well, they don't have anything to compare it to.
Very true.
So from your bio, from what I've read, you've done a lot of stuff in your life. Entrepreneurship, you got into that. Now, what are you looking to do? The main reason why I have you on. What's next in the chapter of Mr. Jean-Baptiste Carelus' life?
Yes, well, it's more of a continuation in my mind.
Okay.
I am the candidate for Council District 1 in the town of Hempstead. My plan is to bring what I've gained along all the years in finance and in economics and bring that to bear in the council. A large portion of what is done by the council overseeing the town budget and spending. If you don't have that background in finance. For example, I mentioned working with Standard & Poor's, the rating agency. I started off actually working with Credit Week Municipal, which is a publication that publishes the ratings opinions of S&P. For example, the town of Hempstead currently has a AA rating, I believe, from Standard & Poor's, AAA from Moody's.
Okay.
But those sort of ratings opinions depend a lot on what happens at the town. It depends on the financial position of the town. It depends on the governance of the finances and operation of the town. And of course, it depends on the size of the tax base. If you don't understand how all these things, interact and bring about a rating, you could in fact make decisions that could harm the future borrowing of the town. And that's what I hope to, bring further into the town of Hempstead to better it even more.
And for my friends who are listening who aren't familiar with District 1, the current council person in that seat is Senior Councilwoman Dorothy Gooseby. So you can have an idea of the position that you are running for. So you're looking to help bring about a better understanding of the financial status in the district.
Well,
is it district?
Town
of Hempstead.
The town of Hempstead in general, but I will be representing District 1.
Got you.
What I would like to bring about is what I've come to term better government for District 1.
Okay.
Because as I've gone around District 1 since I've declared my candidacy, what I've noticed is that the biggest complaints of the constituents is that they are not being heard, that they are not being properly represented, that we in District 1 are not getting our fair share of the resources that are allocated within the town of Hempstead. And that is, in fact, what I wish to work on, making sure that our residents aren't just, heard, but in fact, that their concerns are addressed to the fullest extent possible. I mean, there are some concerns that, requires a lot more work, a lot more thought, and sometimes just cannot be resolved in a manner that, everyone truly wants. But the fact is, you should at least be given an audience to voice your concern. And hopefully we can arrive at a decision as to how to best address those concerns. That's what I wish to bring to District 1. Responsive government that listens, acts, and delivers real results for real people.
And you are a real person who understands the nitty-gritty part of finances. And one thing that I did hear you mention earlier, that you graduated with a bachelor's degree in
politics and economics. It's
so who knew that it was going to come together? From civil engineer.
I wish I could have planned it out like that. It was just, hey, the road turned and I took the turn with it. It was just one of those things. I originally was going to enter school as a political science major.
Oh, wow.
And I thought long and hard, what will I do with that? So after some extra thought, that's when I realized, okay, maybe economics might be, as I mentioned before, I had all the prerequisites, the math courses and everything else that goes behind that. And so the thought of the actual work that I would be doing, politics did not seem sufficient of an area. So I figured pair it with economics. Now you've got, something to really work with. I actually focused a lot on political economy and economic development in undergrad.
Look at that.
The two paired very well.
That is amazing that it happened that way. But it's just what I've been learning from talking to a lot of people is that might have been inside of you from before. And you just ignored it and said, you know what? Like, I'm just paraphrasing what you said. I've got all the credits here for economics, so I'm just going to put this to the side, and this is a little bit easier to go down.
Well, it's somewhat odd because, life takes you in different directions.
Right.
And as I've matured in my life, I realize, the hand of God,
Yes.
directs you in many areas that you don't necessarily have planned.
Right.
And so you just need to have faith.
Yes.
That the direction that you seem to be headed is the right direction. It is the will of God. It is the direction that you should go. And in the end, it will not only benefit you, but it could benefit many others.
Yes.
So I'd like to think that it was God's will that I ended up here and that it will ultimately benefit District 1 and beyond.
That's good. Thank you for sharing. Like I mentioned earlier, we did meet a beautifying Uniondale one early Saturday morning. I do see that you mentioned about improving local parks in District 1. What's your vision for that?
So if you look at, there are lots of beautiful, let me just back up.
Yes.
The town of Hempstead has absolutely many beautiful parks. Baldwin is one of them.
Yes.
Absolutely gorgeous. Right on the water, tons of baseball fields, everything.
Yes.
I would like that our children, our residents, everyone get a chance to truly enjoy the beauty that is the town of Hempstead.
Yes.
You even see Kennedy Park. There are lots of improvements that were done there. When I was growing up in Hempstead, Kennedy Park was nice.
Yes.
But now they have a skating park.
Yeah.
They still have the tennis courts that are up. I understand there's going to be some renovation to the pool sometime in the near future.
Okay.
It's really been expanded. You see the soccer and football field that is there now. Just that sort of thing, bringing more amenities. If you go there on a any given night, let's pick a Wednesday night, there are exercise classes that are going on. There are community meetings, with various organizations. That is what I would like to bring, a bit of vibrancy. To these parks, rather than, there are some places that need a little extra help, needs a little extra maintenance. And we need to make sure that every facility that we provide to our constituents is in fact top-notch, best that there is. And for the most part, they are.
Okay.
There are just pockets of areas that need extra, which is what I
Right.
speak of when I talk of, giving that fair share to the residents of District 1.
Right. Okay. Well, since you are the money guy, how do you see that coming about? Would that cost the taxpayers more in taxes to have those amenities in the parks?
Well, no, not necessarily.
Okay.
One of the things that I am not a fan of is necessarily raising taxes as it is. So
Okay.
there's too broad areas of dissatisfaction, not just in District 1, but in all of Long Island.
Yes.
It's the cost of living, mainly taxes, the high taxes, and the availability and affordability of housing. So those two things are the main areas.
Yes.
Ideally, what I would like to do is maintain, if not reduce, the taxes. That is difficult. But if we can focus on priorities, for example, safer streets, better parks, stronger services, and where there is waste to be eliminated, eliminate it. Does that necessarily lead to reduced taxes? Maybe not, but at least we can control the cost of it. We can control the rise in taxes. So
Yes.
ultimately, controlling, reducing taxes is the goal. The next item is affordability of housing. Now, if I came across actually a very interesting organization. It's the Uniondale Community Land Trust.
Yes.
I made sure I didn't want to screw that up.
Yes.
I saw a project that they're working on Uniondale Boulevard, Uniondale Avenue. Yes, I'm sorry. And it's a great project. That sort of system cannot necessarily work everywhere in
Right.
District 1, but this one home was standing vacant since 1992, I understood.
Yes.
After a fire.
Yes.
And the land trust, the members, Janine and others, were out there maintaining the lawn just to make sure that it did not become blighted on a major thoroughfare.
Yes.
They finally were able to purchase it at a discount rate. There was no market participant that chose to bid on it, so they got the house. They are now actually erecting the building. I have pictures of it from the other day. And the young family that was there, the joy that you saw on their face, that idea of taking land that is abandoned, that is, of no taxable use and redeveloping it, making it available,
Yes.
it accomplishes two things. It increases the tax base because it was of no real tax use at all.
Yes.
And you now have a young family that can start on the road to home ownership, building wealth, building equity, and now you have something more beautiful on that main strip.
Yes.
So all these things are positive, but in the end, the main focus is reducing our taxes
Yes.
and providing the availability and affordability of housing.
That's a big, difficult task
It is.
that you're taking on, sir. But I'm sure.
But you know what? We take on difficult tasks, every day.
Yes,
It's
so true.
It's life, and we can't run away from it. Will we knock it out the park every time? We hope to,
Right.
which is why we get out of bed.
Exactly.
We hope to knock it out the park every day, but once in a while we'll settle for a single. Baseball talk.
Yes.
We'll settle for a double, but knocking it out the park is what we strive for. We strive to do that for our constituents. We strive to do that for ourselves.
Yes.
And we should not back away from difficult things.
Exactly. Oh, well, at the end, I'm going to ask you to say something positive. You said a lot of positive stuff throughout this conversation. Jean-Baptiste, I've truly enjoyed speaking with you. Our time, we are close to the end. Go ahead and share your contact information if anybody wants to learn more about you. If you have any events going on, where can they find you? Go ahead and share that.
So one of the biggest items that I am focused on is meeting community organizations. I just came from the Nostrand Garden Civic Association.
Yes.
I am having a meeting with, I believe the acronym is GWAC.
Yes.
The Greater Uniondale.
Greater Uniondale Action Coalition.
Yes. And organizations like that, just to give them a sense of who I am and get to understand what they're doing, what their concerns are. And sometime in, late July, August is when I will start to hold meetings within each of the communities on my own.
Okay.
I plan on having at least, one per month in each of the 5 areas,
Okay.
which is including Baldwin, North Baldwin, Roosevelt, Uniondale, Hempstead, and West Hempstead.
Oh,
So
gotcha.
you figure covering those areas after I've gotten to meet the folks, after I got a better understanding of what their desires, their needs, their wants are,
Yes.
then I can start saying, okay, let's all come. Let's talk.
Yes.
Let me tell you what I have gained from our sit downs, and here's what I think we ought to do or can do to alleviate some of the issues that I've learned from you.
Yes.
That's how I plan on carrying forward. But right now, it's mostly focused on meeting and greeting everyone on their turf
Okay.
rather than pulling them to some direction that I want to go to.
How can they reach you?
Right now, I'm available by email.
Okay.
My email is jbcarelus, Carelus, the number 4, cd1@gmail.com.
Okay.
I also have a webpage. It's JB Carelus for Hempstead Town Council.
Okay. And is that FOR or the number 4?
That's FOR.
Okay.
Yeah, so that one is not the number. Thank you. They can reach me through Facebook. I am working on an Instagram account as well as a website for the campaign itself.
Okay.
But those are the two ways right now of reaching me. By email, jbcarelus, Carelus, 4cd1@gmail.com, or through Facebook at jbcarelus for Hempstead Town Council.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Jean-Baptiste, for sharing. As I prepped you before we started talking, friends, the way I like to wrap up the show is by asking my guests to share something positive, something insightful that they've learned throughout their journey in life. Here's your opportunity to do that.
You know, the one thing that I have learned, I referenced it earlier, is that there's a plan for everyone's life. Lots of people may go through life through difficult periods and may lose sight of that plan, or they may, late in life stumble onto that plan. That in fact is me as well. But accept where life leads you. Life will always lead you to a positive place if you live positively. If you live for, the benefit of others, if you live for the greater good, life will always lead you to a much better place than you were yesterday. That is what I would like to leave everyone with, that there is a plan, follow life, live a good life, present yourself as somebody who is there to work with others for the benefit of others and not just for yourself, and life will produce good things for you.
Okay. Thank you, Jean-Baptiste Carelus, for sharing those positive words. Friends, you heard it here from Jean-Baptiste Carelus. Jean-Baptiste Carelus is running for a council person for the town of Hempstead, District 1. He says there is an ultimate plan for your life that was planted in you from the beginning. You may go through some ups and downs. As you're going through those downs, make sure to live positively, give service to others, and from that, you'll see that seed grow into good fruit. Thank you, Jean-Baptiste, for being here.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Thank you, friends, for listening. You are listening to the Voice of Uniondale. My name is Nicole Burke. Friends, make sure to follow the Voice of Uniondale on Spotify, and make sure to come back next week to hear another journey from Uniondale. Bye for now.